Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's turning out to be a pretty slow week. I wasn't sure if the 4th of July holiday would affect the week as it usually does because nobody can go anywhere. Usually, this week would be, we'd be covering a Free Guy was supposed to come out for 4th of July. So, not a huge movie, but a big movie. But, most people would be on vacation this week because 4th of July falls on a Saturday. So this would have been, every 4th of July holiday, I'm like, I should go on vacation. No one's online. No one's doing anything. And I didn't think it would be the case again this year, but it seems to be the case again anyway. So I think that's very interesting. Is anybody here, are you guys taking it easy for the 4th of July? Dancing Dog, that's a good Captain America, the First Avenger is a good 4th of July movie. Oh, Thomas is on vacation, it looks like. Happy Canada Day, Nicole. Oh, some of you guys are doing stuff. Be careful, please. Sean's going to his backyard. Lloyd, you're going to a wedding? I mean, I know they're holding it, but I guess, you want to go. So most of you are, kind of taking it easy, but some of you are going away. So I guess that's why this week's a little bit still like vacation-y or holiday-like, which is good. I will be taking Saturday off, and that's about it. Because then I can't go anywhere. All right, so anyway, we have Fernando's doing laundry right now. That's fantastic, Fernando. Good for you. So we're going to do, we have a great stream to go over today. I still was able to find 3 stories, so I'm very happy about that. And then, of course, at the end of the stream, you can ask me anything that you would like. The way this is going to work for streaming is the next stream will be on Thursday. I take Wednesdays off because that's when I get my food delivery, as you know. But there'll still be videos tomorrow. There just won't be a stream. There'll be a stream on Thursday. And then on Friday, for 4th of July weekend, we're doing the Jaws watch-along at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That video, the space will go up on Thursday, so you'll know where to go. But that's, hey, the Ermintrude. As if you're watching or listening for the first time, not live, I always say hello to anybody who joins during a stream. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in. I appreciate it. And if you can be a member, that really does mean a lot, and it is very helpful to me, especially during this difficult time. And I try to give you a lot for your money's worth. Look at this, 5 streams this week. That's a lot of streams. All right, so let's get to today's 3. Some of you, like Gramos, has never seen Jaws before. I find that incredible, but you're in for a treat. We're going to have a really good time. I already have my snack all planned and everything. It's perfect. I can't wait. We're going to have a great time. Yes, it's Jaws is on HBO Max, so if you already have HBO, or if it's on Hulu, as Aaliyah just pointed out, you don't have to pay for the movie. But it's worth it. It's a very, very good film. Oh, Jay, don't send me any money. I would never ask that. I feel like some people have Patreon accounts. I just don't think that I would feel comfortable doing that to you. I feel that the great thing about memberships is that you pay a little bit of money. It's like maybe around $7 or $8 a month, depending on what country you're in. Some of that goes to me, some of it goes to YouTube. But you get something for your money. You get these streams, and also everybody can participate because the way YouTube is set up, members can comment, but anybody can watch. So it'll be fun. It's fun. I appreciate that, Jay. That's so sweet of you. But I just wouldn't feel comfortable asking you for that. All right, so let's get to today's 3 stories. That's so nice of you to say, Mako. And then at the end, you can ask me anything that you would like. All right, so story number 1. Boop. Oh, look at Seth Rogen. He's so happy. He just got hey, Elizabeth Daniels, thanks for joining. So Seth Rogen just got himself another deal. So it was announced today that Nickelodeon, there's been so much Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the past few years. They did those 2 live-action movies, which I thought were not bad. They were, moderately successful. They weren't like huge, but successful enough for them to make a second one, but not a third. So anyway, now they're going to do a new CG, computer-generated animated movie, because that's all the rage these days. And this is going to be from Nickelodeon, but also Seth Rogen. Now, I was tweeting out that that's what I was going to cover today, and somebody said, oh, I don't know why everybody's complaining. I think it's a great idea. I can't imagine why anybody would complain about this. I think it's perfect. Seth Rogen pretty much is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, in my opinion. He loves to sit around, joke, talk about pop culture, and eat pizza. Who doesn't like to do that, quite frankly? But I mean, I don't know if they can have weed jokes more, as marijuana jokes. I mean, although Seth Rogen is a legit business person now, he has his own marijuana company, which I think is pretty interesting. But I don't think they'll be able to go that far. But I do think they'll probably make it a little edgier. Now, it's going to be based on a recent comic, but it is going to be the screenwriter of Neighbors 2 and Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. And I think it would be very smart to do an older, more mature take on the characters so that, older audiences who grew up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would be into it. So far, all the approaches, they've done a few like winks at the older audience, but so far it's been mostly for kids and families. But something that would play into the nostalgia craze that Hollywood, of course, is currently going through, I think would be really smart to do. Sausage Party, of course, came from Seth Rogen, and I thought that was great. I mean, it went too far in many places. Seth Rogen often goes too far. You're like, I love your work, Seth Rogen, but that was too far. And he goes, I know, I'm a scamp. And I keep watching, and he keeps making stuff. But, Sausage Party, while it went too far, really went too far at the end of the movie, you were like, what did this turn into? I still thought it was really clever at parts and certainly very intelligent, very smart. I think Seth Rogen's very talented. I'm looking forward to his HBO Max movie where he comes, he freezes himself Captain America-like in pickle brine and plays someone from, Ellis Island who's around today. I mean, that sounds fun to me. So, I don't know. Are any of you interested in a Seth Rogen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Strong no from Loy, but Jay's into it. I like Nicole. Yeah, why not? Although some pass from Portis. Evan, no. Oh, maybe they're not giving it enough of a break. Maybe you guys are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtled out. Let's see who the voice cast is and how it looks. Justin would watch it. Anna says, let's see, what'd Anna say? It went by too fast. Went by too fast. I liked what Anna was saying. I missed it. Darn it. Oh, yeah, I'm very interested in Seth Rogen taking this on. I agree, Anna. Okay, so I think there's enough interest for them to give this a whirl. I'm sure they're not going to spend, hopefully, too much money on it. All right, so I think it's a good idea. I think it's a really good matchup, and I'd be curious to see, maybe he can get Zac Efron. Singh just pointed out it's as good as Neighbors. I really liked both Neighbors movies, but first Neighbors was particularly good. But he could probably get some really cool cameos. I think it would be fun. I would like it. All right, so that's the first story of the day. Let's get to the second story of the day. Hold on. Boop. All right, so it was announced today 2 shows got renewed. So first off, it was announced first thing earlier today that Ozark had been renewed for season 4. Now, they didn't give a date, but they gave some other important details. I want to tell you something very funny, actually, as a side note. I get all the press releases that they turn into these stories. So you might think that the reporters are calling up and finding out that it's the final season and it's going to be divided into, hey, Braden Garcia, it's going to be divided into 2 parts, 7 episodes each. And then they have a quote from from Jason Bateman, and he's like, oh, I'm excited. It's going to be great to go out with a bang, maybe several bangs. It's all in the press release. I got the press release too. I don't put out videos like that. I only put out videos when I feel I have something to add to the conversation. But, we're talking about a print business model, which I totally understand. So basically the trades, it's just a speed game. Who can rephrase the press release from the outlet, in this case, Netflix, the fastest, and where do you like to get your news from? But I just thought that was pretty interesting. Everybody's article about Ozark Season 4 was just their interpretation of that press release. So it was funny. So anyway, yes, it's the final season. I, too, am sad that it's going to end. But I think Jason Bateman and Laura Linney are very much working actors today. They are in demand. I think they want to probably go do other things. So they just can't continue to go down and film this show. I mean, I think we were all amazed that it lasted as long as it did. I've constantly been holding my breath being worried that Marty Byrde would be killed because Jason Bateman didn't want to do this anymore. So at least now I know that this is the final season. I can mentally prepare myself, and I feel a lot of people are going to die. I think a lot of people are going to die. But I do appreciate Lauren points out that Breaking Bad was 5 seasons. Yeah, this is a little short, but this is an extended season. And I guess it's technically 5 if you want to count it that way, right? But I guess they're saying it's 4 because they're going to shoot it all together. They're going to shoot it back to back. So that's a good. That makes sense. But anyway, I just feel like it's good at least that the writers know this going in, so they can just do whatever they want because they know that they don't have to worry about setting up another season. I do feel that maybe like how far can this show go? How long can the birds live on the edge and tempt fate? Like someone, Mad Kid just mentioned Ruby. Like her storyline, how much longer can that go on, right? Julia Garner. So I mean, I think it makes sense. I think that they are really like they've gone very far. And I don't know much further they can go before there are some serious repercussions. Hey, Sir Charles, thanks for joining. So I'm very excited for this. No one still talks about Ozark, even though it's such a good show. It's very sad. It's very sad. All right, so also, same story, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Mere hours later, HBO said, guess what? We're going to bring back Curb Your Enthusiasm for the 11th season. The 11th season. That's like a lot of seasons. Like, it's an embarrassment of riches for Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love that show. Larry David clearly cannot run out of material. But, the difference is that Jason Bateman has a very prolific career doing all different kinds of things, whereas Curb Your Enthusiasm is like Larry David's whole raison d'etre. I mean, he does like other things occasionally, but, Curb Your Enthusiasm is his thing. I think it's a great idea, but also what I think is interesting to see 2 shows renewed. I think what's going on with the pandemic is that it's hard to greenlight new shows, put them together, build sets, put together a whole crew. I think these are already well-oiled machines for both these projects. Also, one is shot in the Ozark, although, some of the southern states not going so well with coronavirus. But, it's still it's somewhat contained, and it's a smaller shoot. And also, Curb Your Enthusiasm is right in Los Angeles, although Los Angeles is this major hot zone right now. But still, they know what to do. They've filmed before. It's not a big learning curve. And so I think it makes sense to do it this way. So I think you'll probably see, this is really good news for some shows that maybe were on the cusp. They're like, yeah, let's bring them back because pandemic. All right, so that's the second story of the day. Let me go to the third story. Boop. All right, so Hamilton fever. Will it grip the country? Will it grip the world? I got to tell you, I think the jury's still out on this. I see very low interest for Hamilton. I'm surprised at how low the interest is for Hamilton. It trended, although I'm beginning to suspect that Twitter is like a real microcosm and is not really doesn't always reflect the world, which is like crazy. But anyway, it trended on Twitter. But I got to tell you, I'm seeing very little interest. Now, this could be like a situation like Captain Marvel or Black Panther, which were huge hits, obviously. Huge hits. And weren't doing a lot of traction online before they debuted. But I'm telling you, I haven't seen a lot of, I think, as Christian just pointed out, not into Lin-Manuel Miranda. I wonder how much more money Disney's going to sink into Lin-Manuel Miranda before it sinks into them that mainstream audiences are not huge fans, right? Nikachu just said the same thing. And I got to tell you, I don't think Hamilton's going to make anyone a Lin-Manuel Miranda fan. It might make you respect him more. It was definitely very clever to come up with that, but it's going to turn you into a Daveed Diggs fan, a Leslie Odom Jr. fan, and then if you weren't already a Jonathan Groff fan, and how were you not? But if you weren't, you'll see that. Jeremiah just mentioned The Little Mermaid, and it occurred to me after I watched Hamilton that, Lin-Manuel Miranda's kind of Hamiltoning The Little Mermaid. And we'll see how that works out for him. I told you I don't think you could make The Little Mermaid with its Caribbean songs and not have an Ariel of color. But, it's going to be tough for whoever tries to pull it off. But I think they're very brave, and I think it needs to be done. But, The Little Mermaid, who knows when it's going to come out? It was supposed to be filming now, but, it was supposed to start right before coronavirus. And so I'm not quite sure when they'll be able to go and do that at this point. So it's tough. But anyway, basically, we'll see how it does on Sunday on Movie Math on the streaming service, on Disney Plus. But I don't know. I'm not so sure how it's going to do. I think there's a chance that it might not do as well as Disney is anticipating, but we'll see. But they keep signing Lin-Manuel Miranda for new projects, so he's already got, The Little Mermaid and that rumored Disney animated movie that he's working on. So, we'll see. We'll see. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda, I'd like to clarify, is a lovely person. I just, so far I feel like anything that he's done is like, well, I personally do not care for it. Like, the question is, how many people have seen Hamilton? Like, does it take the same number of people to be a Broadway sensation as it does a movie or TV sensation? It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question, which we will soon find out the answer to. Although, of course, there are no numbers that are released for Disney Plus, so we'll never know for sure how it does. But Disney's doubling down on Hamilton this weekend because they've announced today that they're going to do a behind-the-scenes documentary about Hamilton. It's called Hamilton In Depth, hosted by Kelly Carter, she's basically a freelance reporter, African-American, and I think she's done some ESPN stuff, which makes sense because ESPN is producing this along with Disney Plus. And they, of course, did the recent, Chicago Bulls documentary, which was quite popular. So this will be a virtual roundtable because apparently they only recently came up with the idea and couldn't get everyone in a room together. But docuseries, the movie lover just pointed out he enjoyed the Frozen 2 one. They're working pretty well so far for Disney Plus. They've done now, the Imagineering story was amazing. But they've also done Disney Gallery, and now Into the Unknown is on the service, and now they're doing this Hamilton In Depth. So I like these behind the scenes. I like going behind the scenes, and I think streaming services are a great place to do that. But yeah, so, if you're interested in Hamilton this weekend, if you're going to watch it, remember, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Factor that into your planning. Don't start it too late. And, prepare your family members for it. They might be like, I'd love to watch a light musical. And be like, no, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. Prepare yourself. And then I think things will go better for you. So anyway, you might want to watch this documentary as well. That'll also be on the service. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. Now, it's 4:51, so we can go until 5:01, and you can ask me anything that you would like. I don't necessarily have to answer it, but maybe I will. That's right, Jared. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes with a 1-minute intermission. 1 minute. Where did you hear about Benicio del Toro on Suicide Squad? Did a story just break? Let me look. They finished filming that, so I'm not quite sure how there would be, unless it's like a Mandalorian-style leak. Could you tell me where you saw that? Is that a legitimate story, or is that something? I don't see it anywhere in the trades. Hi, Andres. Hey, Nilfinity Gaming, thanks for joining. I don't know if WandaVision is 9 episodes for sure. That's a rumor. So I can't. I got to tell you, it's a difficult time right now to be in the movie entertainment reporting business. There's like no news. So some people are kind of fudging stuff, or I don't like to report on rumors. That Scatterbrain says you failed on your no dairy diet. Tomorrow is, as Scarlett O'Hara says, tomorrow is another day. You can always start and try again tomorrow. Joseph, I can't confirm that WandaVision is 9 episodes. I'm not saying it isn't, but I can't confirm it. Somebody just had a good question there. Where'd it go? Where is it? Lloyd says, Grace, what are your thoughts on Zuckerberg losing $7 billion as films and other companies boycott Facebook ads? I think it's great. I think it's really important. I think that it's not a good idea I think Facebook, their lack of regulation is a real problem. And so apparently they won't listen to anyone's pleas. So you got to hit them where it hurts in their paycheck. Somebody just asked, I forgot, where is the question? Jay says, what actor has successfully transitioned from Broadway to film? A number of actors have. A number of actors. Most recently, Billy Porter, I'd say, did so very successfully. Another person, it's interesting. Julie Andrews is one of the most famous people to go from the stage to the screen. She originated the role of Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady, but the Warner Brothers didn't want her, so they instead got Audrey Hepburn to play the role and for someone to do the singing for her. And that turned out really well. Audrey Hepburn was a wonderful Eliza Doolittle. But what do you know? Disney scooped up Julie Andrews to be Mary Poppins. And then, of course, she went on to do The Sound of Music. And so her career turned out quite nicely. Evan's pointing out that Cynthia Erivo came from Broadway. Ben Platt, he's also from the stage. He's doing very well. And then there was Rex Harrison, I believe, also was the same thing. So, it can happen. It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but it can happen. Daveed Diggs, Lin-Manuel Miranda, the whole cast of Hamilton, Oh, that's right, Joseph, Hugh Jackman. And Waffles, I don't know if Idina Menzel counts, though, Waffles, because she only does Frozen. She doesn't really get any other work. Let's see here. Thomas says, Grace, what's your most anticipated upcoming DC movie? I really want to see Wonder Woman 1984. I love the first Wonder Woman so much. I thought it was so good. I really want to see this movie already. Idina Menzel was in Uncut Gems, but that was a really small role and no one really paid attention to her in it. So I think that would seem to me more like stunt casting. Everyone paid more attention to the actress who played his girlfriend, who was very good. I can't really react to TV spots either, so I really only strictly react to trailers. It's awfully tempting when nothing's happening, but I have these rules for a reason, so I have to stick to them. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But I got to tell you, this week I got hit hard by that no one's interested in the DC Universe television shows, which is really a shame because they're so good. Christopher says, Grace, do you think Tenet will still come out in August? Here in New York City, I don't feel it happening. No, I don't think Tenet will come out in August. I don't think it will. Because you have to remember that the coronavirus death toll will rise in about 3 to 4 weeks after the initial spikes of, maybe people are getting better at handling it. I'm not quite sure. But we don't know what's going to happen. I think, and also some places are continuing to still open. Like Disney World is like, we're doing it. We're going for it. Every single cast member has to wear a face shield. And you're like, don't you think that maybe you've passed the point of this being reasonable? And Disney's like, no, we have not. So when you go to Disney World, you will come and encounter cast members who have a face mask on and then a face shield. How is that going to make you, I don't know. But people are booking vacations. The fact that they're not giving anybody discounts is incredible to me. Mika, of course, videos this week. I don't like to tell you what videos I'm going to make in advance, though, because then you feel bad when they don't show up on time, and I feel guilty. That's not a good way to go. So they're coming. I actually just filmed one, which will hopefully be edited and go up early tomorrow. Vo Catalan says, what's your favorite musical? I like so many musicals. I like My Fair Lady. I like Mary Poppins. I like Sound of Music. Although Sound of Music, I apologize to Bong Joon-ho because I was upset with him for saying bad stuff about it. But I recently rewatched Sound of Music and I thought it didn't hold up in some places. I was like, no. I love The Greatest Showman. I like a lot of musicals. I think they're really good. Portis, not any tea not right now. I think that everybody's kind of like taking a break, as I said, for 4th of July. So it's a little slow right now. Matt, I don't remember the first comic book that I ever read. DC released like nothing today. I was very sad. But I do remember that I started out with Archie comics and Disney comics, particularly Uncle Scrooge comics. I had the whole Carl Barks collection. Hey, Isaiah Bill, thanks for joining. Mika, I think Perry Mason's not very good story-wise, but it's so atmospheric, and I love the cast so much that I'm continuing to watch it anyway. Let's see here. Mateus, I hope Joker War is good. Joe says, Grace, prediction for when the WandaVision trailer will drop if it stays with its December release. I think they're going to focus first on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we have to see what Marvel's going to be doing for Comic-Con, if they're going to participate in Comic-Con at home or if they're going to have their own event like DC is doing. I don't think they'll be able to have something at the scale of DC because DC had a head start on them, but they can still do their own event. I think that you could potentially show up there. I don't know what's going to happen with these dates because, WandaVision was supposed to lead into Doctor Strange 2, but that doesn't come out now until 2022. And I don't think Shang-Chi, which still hasn't started filming yet, I don't know if Shang-Chi is going to make its May release date. So they have a real problem. I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. Although we'll certainly be ready for new Marvel content at that point, right? Let's see here. Porter says, Grace, do you think that Warner Brothers is nervous about the public demanding Batfleck when we have Pattinson coming? That's a good question. There's been a lot of chatter about Ben Affleck coming back as Batman. I do not believe that is the case beyond the Snyder Cut right now. From what I've heard, never say never. Never say never. What I've heard is that if Snyder Cut does well, then Warner Brothers will maybe have that conversation. I do not believe that they will undercut. It's one thing for Henry Cavill to come back as Superman because, there's no other Superman right now. But Robert Pattinson is filming literally in the middle of filming a Batman movie. So they're not going to want people to be like, oh, who cares about this? Let's go do the Ben Affleck one. Let's just look forward to that. So I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think if it did happen, and Warner Brothers is making some crazy moves right now, I believe that, I feel like there's a potential situation that the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern talks are also for that Flash movie. Flash might run through all old DC movies, which I have mixed feelings about. We'll see if that's announced. But yeah, I just think that, they have to support Robert Pattinson. But Warner Brothers does a lot of crazy stuff. Oh, it's 5:01. I'll do two more questions. Thank you, Evan. Justin says, do you think that talks about Michael Keaton coming back steals Pattinson's The Batman thunder? I think it's not great, and I don't think that DC is at the place where they can have Michael Keaton walking around all the DC movies to saying, hey, I'm Bruce Wayne from another universe, and not have people laugh, to be honest with you. Marvel can pull it off because they literally took 10 years to build a cinematic universe. And I'm annoyed that Marvel is going to really own the multiverse terminology, even though DC is the one who did it first. That's very annoying to me, but it's happening. There's nothing you can do about it. Chad Thompson says, thoughts on the Harry Potter video game. I'll tell you what I find incredible. J.K. Rowling really, thanks Terry, I'm glad you're enjoying today's stream. J.K. Rowling really ruined her career. I think her career is in real bad shape. And again, it's because of Twitter. You got to really watch yourself on Twitter. They should have on the app like a 25-second, are you sure thing, where they're like, are you sure you want to put this out there? Because with one tweet, this woman ruined an illustrious career. She kind of heard it a little bit already with the Fantastic Beasts movies, to be honest with you. But the reason I say that because of the video game, with the video game, for the video game to have in its promotional material to say, don't worry, J.K. Rowling really wasn't involved with this, is so humiliating and so indicative of the point of where she is right now with her career. I just find it shocking that they actually feel a selling point is that, don't worry, J.K. Rowling isn't involved in this. That's amazing to me. One of you tweeted me saying J.K. Rowling used to be the one who would decide the taste of butterbeer and was able to mandate that they don't sell soda at the park, which I have to say was pretty shocking when I showed up there because at that point I had not given up soda and they were like, yeah, there's no soda here. And I was like, what am I supposed to drink? And they were like, iced tea or water or apple juice. And I was like, it's so hot, I want a soda. That was not a fun time. But she was right on that, on, getting rid of soda in that part of the theme park. But I just feel, it's amazing to me that she was effectively canceled. That's shocking to me. But I also feel there are things about her that are bad. Like if you're, like with J.K. Rowling, somebody pointed out that her pen name is a psychiatrist who was one of the people who championed conversion therapy. And you're like, of all the names you could pick, J.K., why would you pick that name? And it's not like she picked some name that's like, oh, well, who would have guessed that was the name? It seems like an innocuous name. It's like Robert Galbraith or something, Where does Galbraith come from? Where did she pick Galbraith? That's an indefensible choice. You're like, are you kidding me? And the way it couples with that other comment that she made about trans rights, I mean, it's like even if you wanted to defend J.K. Rowling, I think at this point it would be hard to do. Also, when Stephen King said, I mean, of course, so the Stephen King controversy I thought was also crazy. Crazy but understandable. So Stephen King apparently said something nice about J.K. Rowling, and she was like, thanks, Stephen. And then someone else jumped on that, as they do on Twitter, and said, what do you think about trans rights, Stephen King? And Stephen King isn't an idiot. He doesn't want to get canceled. So, of course, because it's also true to be clear here, Stephen King said trans women are women, which I think is a 100% true statement, 110% true statement. But J.K. Rowling got really angry and like deleted her tweet. Does J.K. Rowling not understand Twitter, that you can tell when you delete a tweet? Let me give you some advice. Never delete a tweet. People know, especially after you just tweeted it. Like maybe years later you could delete the tweet under cover of night if nobody knows about it. You know, but you don't do that. And it just reignited the conversation again. She unfollowed him too, George? That's insane. I can't believe she unfollowed Stephen King. What did she expect Stephen King to do? Die on that hill with her? I just find that incredible. I think she handled it so poorly. So poorly. So poorly. I'm glad, Nikachu, I'm glad you enjoy my very frank points on this. I feel pretty strongly about it, you know? I feel it didn't need to happen. And what did she really accomplish? Like, what was her original point? That, to me, also is so crazy. Like, I don't want to get involved in this conversation, which is why I didn't make a video about it. I was like, haha, I'm not getting in there, JK. Have fun. So, when they start doing Fantastic Beasts news, though, I will certainly loop it back in. Certainly loop it back in. 100% loop it back in. But, you know, if Warner Brothers was looking for a way to get her out of the screenwriting process for Fantastic Beasts 3, I do believe they found it. But how on earth are they going to make a movie that has J.K. Rowling's name on it and Johnny Depp in it? I love Johnny Depp. He's been, I think, completely cleared. But I have to say, some people don't believe still that he's been cleared, which is sad. Very sad. I would love nothing more than a Johnny Depp comeback. But for Johnny Depp to have a comeback, he's got to go to rehab and he has to deliver great work again. His work in the last Pirates movie was very sloppy. It just made me feel like people were taking advantage of him. I don't know how everybody on set in the last Pirates movie wasn't like, I think we should break and he should go to rehab. And then he can come back and finish the movie. All right, so I want to leave you with a positive, Caesar, it's my pleasure. Caesar Coronado, I love that name, and I mentioned it yesterday, and you tweeted about it, which I thought was so nice. But the other thing I want to say is that I did watch an I Love Lucy last night. My Hamilton review is rendering, so I wanted some short content. It takes about 20 minutes for something that long to render. And Johnny Depp was amazing in The Orient Express, though. He was phenomenal in that. But anyway, I watched I Love Lucy. It was that first episode in season 1 that they have on the service on Hulu. Lucy thinks Ricky's trying to kill her. And I gotta tell you, that show came out in like the 50s. I love it so much. It still makes me laugh so hard. I was laughing so hard. She's such a great physical comedian. And Desi Arnaz is also really funny. He doesn't really get enough credit for how funny he was. Everyone on that show is fantastic. The fact that it holds up today is just fantastic. And such a testament to the quality of that show. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always have a lovely time talking to you. The next stream will be on Thursday at around 4 p.m. And then, of course, don't forget, we're going to watch Jaws together on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is available apparently on Hulu and on HBO and HBO Max. Or you can rent it, and I would recommend that you do that because it's very good. All right, bye, everybody. Have a great day. Bye, everybody. Bye.